Exoborne, a post-apocalyptic extraction shooter where all that's left are rebels, reborns, robots, the weather, including wind that lights you on fire, and loot. The core gameplay loop is simple. Get your Exo Rig, make your loadout, go on a mission, collect some loot, get some kills per chance, and get out. Maybe partaking in an event somewhere to get even more rewards. I have played extraction shooters before, but never quite like this, to focus on mobility from grappling and gliding everywhere, and the class-based system. In this case, they're called Exo Rigs. Viper, the cloak-based agile assassin. Kestrel, air superiority to the extreme. And Kodiak, the bulwark of the team. You get to pick your playstyle in just that aspect of lone. What? But more so expand on it using your actual loadouts. I'll cover all kinds of stuff more in-depthly in a moment, but first, the video is sponsored by Exoborne. I was invited to a closed playtest and I played for 3 times longer than expected. I enjoyed the game and I figured may as well make a guide, give some tips, and provide feedback because I think that's important and the devs apparently do too. Be sure to wishlist Exoborne on Steam and sign up for the upcoming playtest, closed playtest, starting September 16th. Now let's go ahead and start the video. I want to break down the core gameplay loop, starting with Exo Rigs. Each one equipped with their own unique melee attack, movement ability, and main ability, and 10 modifiers that can enhance either their base stats, armor, revive speed, or their abilities, such as Viper. You can now get healed while cloaked. Grappling gives you cloak. For Kestrel, get more glide time, or have 0 weapon penalty in the air, making you a laser beam from the skies. Reloading does cancel the flight though, little tidbit there. Kodiak, have your Fortify or Fortress ability that gives you temporary armor apply to all your teammates, and if there's more folks around you, it enhances the effect. You can go crazy with build loadout and variety here and have a blast and tailor it towards your own preferred playstyle. And they could always just add more modifiers, further improving the experience. After getting your Exo Rig, you can then pick a place to deploy to. Maynard, Agnesville, and the Sinkhole. Difficulty scaling in that order, and as it goes up, you have a smaller map encouraging more PvP, the value of things you find in the world skyrocket, and I believe you have an increased chance of certain environmental effects, and the objectives that can spawn will have a higher chance of being legendary, which gives you the max rewards currently. And those can get pretty insane. And I'm also fairly certain enemies don't just become tankier as you increase difficulty, which is amazing game design, and instead they maybe increase the density of patrols and throw more enemies that require teamwork to take out, or just knowing weak spots. I don't know everything's weak spot, but I did find out some pretty sick stuff in the short time I played the game, which is the big bot that is scary to fight. You have a little circle that pops up when he's not shooting at you that you can hit for proper damage. There's also a heatsink that takes full damage on the bottom back of the wagon. Have one person distract it, turn it towards your teammates, and then they can shoot it, taking it down. And that rewards so much in terms of player knowledge and shot placement. It's a great way to get folks to progress in the game in a meaningful manner. Loadout customization. You can carry 2 guns and you can choose from LMGs, snipers, SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, and pistols. The guns I enjoyed the most were Piercer, a decently fast-firing sniper rifle, Glaive, a freaking heavy-hitting sniper rifle, Haze as an all-rounder AR, and the Auger, a shotgun I didn't mean to equip and wound up liking a lot. Every weapon can be modded, adding a sight, stabilizer, laser, and muzzle device. Some guns can also have magazine changes. These mods have innate benefits to how you shoot your weapon: recoil control, aim sway stability, weapon swap speed, and ADS transition speed, and maybe a few others. And for stabilizers, this legendary one has all of those benefits, and no downsides. Occasionally, you'll have pros and cons, so weigh them out to your best ability and move on from there. One of the things I like the most is the overall freedom. You can put a 12x on the SMG? What? I'm doing it. Should you do that? No. Am I happy you can? Heck yeah, brother. That also means I can put whatever I want sight-wise on a sniper. Iron sight, red dot, 4x, 6x, 12x thermal. You got options. Passives are another aspect of weapons that are mostly random. Get back armor on hitting headshots. Fully heal when you strip the armor of an enemy. Increase bullet damage by 2. And increase magazine size, as well as various other options. These are random in the sense that when you buy a gun, the last 2 you get tend to be whatever they give you. You can equip 2 extra abilities. Assault, ranging from various damaging options, my favorite of which is tossing a trident that pulsates with damage at enemies, and it sticks to them. Frickin' sick. And for your tactical options, You can scan for loot. You can place down a cloaking aura that helps you and your squadron sit there invisible and loot enemies in a little bit more of a safer environment. You can't have 2 assault or 2 tactical. It's got to be 1 of each. And some of these are locked to certain Exo Rigs. You'll have armor that acts as a second health bar, a backpack for more storage room to carry whatever you want to, catalyst giving you extra energy to spend on any of your abilities, Exo Rig, assault, and tactical, and a vault cache. It may be called a secure cache. Either way, you can store 1-by-1 items in here, and if you die, you get to keep those. If you're a loot goblin, put the most valuable item you can think of in secure cache. Otherwise, whatever you can fit in terms of craft materials would be a wise choice too. Everything else, you don't. So when you choose your loadout, pick the things you are ready to lose. The quality scaling for gear and items is pretty straightforward, going from common all the way to legendary, affecting all kinds of stuff, from your mod attachments for guns to your ammunition. If you have the clams, shekels, and doubloons, you can buy legendary ammo off rip. Everything else will give you pretty scuffed quality. In reference to scopes, they'll be cracked. For your armor, the max it goes to is green, unless you go into the mission and farm it yourself. You can get all kinds of loot by rummaging through anything you possibly see at points of interest, and the bags of deceased reborn rebels, the folks that you hopefully gunned down yourself, or maybe third-partied, I don't judge. But that's all RNG based. You won't quite get what you're looking for in most cases. The more precise method, that you'll be doing in conjunction with the previous one, is crafting. In the main menu, click crafting, and for every item you can think of, it'll give you a list of things you need, and it tells you where to find them. It can be as simple as looting a toolbox, or killing robots and shepherds. When the parts are from a shelter, it gets a bit more complex. Those are locked. You need clearance to enter them. That's gotten from triangle robots you can scan for using the tactical scanner. Recommend that highly. And entering a storm shelter, activating a little thing on the desk somewhere, and waiting for it to give you clearance as you simply chill there. Clearance is also required for these pseudo puzzle objectives. I completed the puzzle part, but couldn't unlock them because I didn't have enough clearance. So keep that on you at all times, probably in your secure cache if you have a lot of it. Legendary gear tends to want things from artifacts, these swirly circles on your map, the blue, purple, and orange ones. These are PVE events that once completed give you an artifact box that then requires a key, and those are gotten from looting all kinds of random stuff. Once you bring the box and the key back to your loadout menu, essentially just the main menu, you can unlock it, and then it gives you a host of random items based on the quality of the artifact box itself. Something I should have mentioned earlier is you have an activities tab with assignments, live events, and challenges. Your assignments are essentially your quests. Do these and progress to get the ability to make more exosuits among getting various other items. To make sure you don't fall behind, look for a star indicator during your missions. That is the assignment objective. Live events were not active during the Exoborne closed playtest, and challenges are just simply things to do to get more battle pass experience. A few things I wish I knew sooner. Pack light. Maybe take a revive kit, 2 of those, 2 stacks of armor plates, ammunition, and your guns. That should be pretty much all you need. Me, I took dang near the whole kitchen sink and lost it. When you're looting, look at the weapon attachments. I had one time, this person had 3 legendary attachments, and I left the gun behind, which made no sense. Also peep the passives, because sometimes those are really good. You can get 2 dang near god rolls that you might want to carry with you. Whenever you're fighting humanoids, they tend to drop these things called S armor repair kits. Those are universal. If you're wearing legendary armor, they'll give you the thing you need to repair it. In this case, legendary armor repair kits. Those are 17,000 shekels roughly in value. And if you're in the battlefield and have nothing left, that is invaluable. I'm going to include the universal armor kits in the positive feedback aspect for the game, which begins right now. Weapon sounds are pretty freaking good, especially for marksman rifles, which also feel good to shoot. The questing is very straightforward. In fact, getting into the game only took me about maybe 5 hours, and I don't really read that much in playing games. It takes me a minute to actually catch on to things that are pretty obvious, so I imagine for folks that do read in games, it should be even easier to catch on. The assault and tactical abilities and overall freedom of customization is a big deal. I do like the idea of putting random stuff on guns. If for nothing else, it is fun. Plus, it lets you be a bit more particular in how you want to do things. Some games are like, you can't put an iron sight on a sniper. This game lets you put a 12x on an SMG. They don't seem to really care to say you can't do XYZ in this case. The enemies are dangerous. I'm talking something fierce. They're shooting me out of the sky if I'm getting too bold. Granted, you can fight back. Use a marksman rifle, one tap them in many cases, so it doesn't feel as though you're gonna get rolled for no reason. It just makes you want to play a little bit safer and a bit more tactical, and I can dig that. The looting gameplay loop, for some reason, had a grip on me. At one point in time, I was going into missions, recording for the video, but realistically, I was just looting stuff like a dent. I do that sometimes, and the same thing also applies to just shooting enemies. I will play games, go in, and just shoot enemies and not try and beat a mission. I very much enjoy the Exoborne class-based system. You can do so many things that would just slightly improve the characters and make them even more unique than they already are. Things I think could be improved, however. The visual clutter when shooting anything automatic is a little excessive. Not to the point where you can't track people, but it could be a little bit cleaner and make for a massive improvement as a byproduct. When looting items that you have in your secure cache, they will go into your inventory even if they have room to stack in your secure cache. That's a bit tedious. Easy solution, if it's room in secure cache and you already have it in there, it just goes straight there. You know what I mean? When you buy things in your loadout, just like the main menu about to go off on a mission, they go into your loadout and not into your main inventory where you store all your stuff that you don't need in the mission itself. There could be a setting to turn it off, and I haven't seen it, but so far I buy a bunch of guns, buy med kits, they all go into my loadout, and then I cycle most of it to my inventory, and it just wastes more time than it should. That's the feedback I felt compelled to write down. And keep in mind, I was playing in the Exoborne closed playtest on a build that's already outdated. They are quite literally ahead of the build that I played, and they're only going to keep improving it. So I would say the game is in a pretty good state as is in terms of overall progression. Because I seen the game about 10 months ago, and it's a pretty drastic improvement from that to what we have right now. So the devs do care, they're putting forth the effort, and that's always good to see. If you want to check out the game, wishlist on Steam, and be sure to sign up for the September 16th through October 7th closed playtest. And Exoborne, thank y'all again for sponsoring the video. Means a ton. I don't get too many of those, so thank you very much. And y'all that watched the video, thank you as well. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good day.